Since the end of the Tokyo Olympics, China's athletes have returned home and are now in quarantine. Sports scene's Wang caught up with diver Cao Yuan, who won gold in the men's 10-meter platform and claimed silver in the synchronized event. He reflected on his experience at the Games.
Cao Yuan, welcome aboard. Great to have you back, and welcome back to Beijing. So how do you feel right now after the competitions? I mean, what might be the things you're doing right now?
I just got back to Beijing and started my quarantine, so I cannot fully relax and go outside to eat or take part in other activities. Instead, we need to report our temperature frequently and wear protective masks, just like other people do while in quarantine.
So let's rewind a little bit. Actually, in the men's 10-meter platform synchronized event, you and Chen Naisen, in the fourth attempt, the fourth dive, made a couple of, or made a few mistakes, if you will. So that's why you didn't really get the gold medal as desired. What was going on? What happened?
There may have been some errors during the Olympics, and perhaps that's because we did not focus enough on the details, or we were a little bit overconfident. After that happened, we really hoped to come back in the end, but even though we did not manage to do so, we performed well on our next two dives, which is also a sort of atonement.
So what do you make of Chen Naisen's remarks saying that, it was a team event right there, the two of you have to deliver, have to do well? If it is the case like that, you just have to accept that.
I think Aisen is very generous, especially since the 10-meter synchronized platform was his only event in Tokyo, and he still refused to dwell on my mistakes. So I really admire his generosity, and I believe he's a good partner, and I appreciate that.
Talking about your teammate Yang Jian, who also really would like to do well, and he was so hungry for this gold medal. How did you two get along? How did you two try to really deliver the best you can on behalf of China?
It turned out that the final was very exciting, and Yang Jian, who is known as the king of difficulty, also performed very well. But sometimes the game changer is one's mentality, and besides that, I think luck was on my side.
Well, what do you make of your other opponent, especially the strong one from Britain, as you mentioned, Tom Daley? And he did pretty well as well with one gold and one bronze medal.
Yes, Tom Daley's mentality is also very good. He took part in two events and really wanted to win those two gold medals. So in terms of mentality, we are actually the same. But at the technical level, I think our Chinese divers should have more confidence. Yang and I have trained and practiced for so many years with the national team, and I'm pretty sure we practice more than they do, so we have no reason to be afraid. And in the individual final, our goal was to beat Daley first and then compete with each other.
3 Olympics right there with 3 gold medals, 1 silver, 1 bronze. How did you manage to do so? Such a marvelous result. You ought to be proud of yourself. What do you think?
Looking at the results, I think 3 golds, 1 silver and 1 bronze in 3 Olympics is very satisfactory, but only I know how hard I worked during the whole process. And of course, nobody can succeed without a lot of effort. So upon reflection, one will see that all the hardship is worthwhile.
At the age of 26, you're still young. As I mentioned, your career is far from over. Paris definitely is in your eyes. Am I right?
I'm now turning my focus to the 14th National Games because the Paris Olympic is still 3 years away, but the National Games is only 3 weeks away. So I'm not thinking about Paris at all. And right now, with the National Games coming up quickly, I must prepare well for this domestic event first, and then talk about Paris.
Last but not least, how would you like to summarize your trip to Tokyo, which definitely was unforgettable to you?
I think I can give myself a very high score this time, maybe 9 out of 10. The only regret is that we lost in the 10-meter synchronized platform, but I made up for it in the individual event. So it was a wonderful Olympics for me. I performed the best in terms of me, my level, my style, and everything. But the regrets are still there for me and Chen Naisen, and I don't know how to make up for this. But I hope that we can be partners again and win gold together in the 10-meter synchronized platform at the national games.
能够重回跟他搭档，然后并且再把双人冠军拿回来吧，就是全运会吧。
Well, I'm sure Eisen will be very happy to hear that as well. With that regret, that means that you have more room for improvement down the line. For sure, you're going places. And Cao Yuan, thank you so much for your time and also your input. We wish you all the best down the line.